Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about something really important, how to absolutely nail those high-stakes business meetings. The ones that can make or break a huge international deal.
So, let's kick things off with a number that's, it's pretty shocking actually. According to international business consultant Angelica Herrera, over 70% of business opportunities are lost, and not because of a bad product or a high price, but simply because of a lack of preparation. Think about that. That is a massive amount of potential just left on the table.
But hey, the good news is, this is totally in your control. So here's the game plan we're going to walk through today so you don't end up in that 70%. We'll look at why that number is so high. I'll introduce you to a simple 3-stage plan for success. We'll break down each of those phases, and then we'll wrap up with your next step.
Okay, so the real key here is a little mindset shift. Stop thinking of it as just a meeting. Instead, think of every single business interaction as a journey, right? And like any good journey, you wouldn't start without a map. Well, this 3-stage framework, this is your map.
This journey, it's got 3 really clear phases. First up, there's meticulous planning, and this is where you do all the heavy lifting up front. Second, you've got memorable execution. That's when you connect and really make an impression. And finally, there's relentless follow-up, which is how you actually lock in the deal. So let's dive into what is, without a doubt, the most important phase of them all: planning.
Seriously, this is where you need to put in most of your focus. As Angelica Herrera says, this is the phase where the deal is truly won or lost. And why is that? It's because when you plan properly, you build this deep, unshakable confidence. And that confidence is what allows you to really, genuinely connect with a buyer.
So what does solid planning actually look like? What are the absolute must-have, non-negotiable things you need to have sorted out before you even dream of walking into that meeting room? A really solid pre-meeting checklist covers these 6 things. You've got to start by getting your own house in order. What is your objective? What can you actually produce? Then you turn your focus to them. Who are you meeting? Get on LinkedIn. What's their business culture like, and what objections are they likely to have? And finally, you have to get the numbers right with an international price list ready to go.
You want to see what this looks like in the real world? It's awesome. Take the story of Karen, a coffee exporter from Colombia. She was heading to Seoul. She didn't just show up with her coffee. No, she researched local specialty coffee shops and had flyers made, in Korean, that she could hand-deliver. I mean, as the quote says, that's preparation. It showed this incredible respect for their culture. And guess what? It landed her new business.
Okay, let's drill down on one of these points for a sec: pricing. Because, the question, so how much does it cost, is always going to come up, and you just can't afford to be caught flat-footed. You must have an international price list ready, and the standard practice is to have it in US dollars.
Now, the professional way to handle this is by using something called Incoterms. They're just global rules that make it super clear who's responsible for what during shipping. For instance, if you quote a price as FOB, that means your responsibility ends when the goods are at the port in your country. But if you quote DAP, you're on the hook for getting them all the way to the buyer's country, though they'll handle the import side. Knowing the difference here is absolutely crucial.
So once you've done all that amazing planning, you're ready for phase 2, execution. This is showtime. And it's not just about spitting out facts and figures. This is all about your soft skills, your attitude, and your ability to make a real human connection.
And these opportunities, they can pop up in the most unexpected places. Angelica tells this great story about being at a conference in Mexico. She gets on a bus, starts chatting with the guy next to her. Turns out he's the CEO of a huge Peruvian software company. That bus ride turned into a business deal. The point is, you have to be ready everywhere all the time.
Just think about it for a second. A buyer at a big trade show, they might meet with 20, 30, even 50 suppliers in one day. They're seeing dozens of people who do what you do. So the big question you have to ask yourself is, what am I going to do to be the one they actually remember tomorrow? And you know what? It's often way simpler than you'd think. Just be genuine. Show some real empathy. Actually listen to understand their problems. Don't just wait for your turn to talk. Maybe you have a creative way to show off your product, or maybe you just have a fantastic, positive attitude. And this last one, this is a big one. Be confident for sure, but never ever say yes to something on the spot if you haven't confirmed you can actually do it. It is always better to say, "Let me double check on that and I'll get right back to you."
Okay, so the meeting went great, you're feeling good, but you are not done, not even close. We are now entering the final, and honestly the most often neglected phase, follow-up. This is where so many good opportunities just wither and die. But it's also where you can really shine.
The number one golden rule of follow-up is brutally simple. Do what you said you were going to do. That's it. If you promised a quote, specs, samples, whatever it is, you deliver it exactly when you said you would. This isn't just about being efficient. This is how you build trust. Every promise you keep is another brick in that foundation.
So what does that look like in practice? It's a simple checklist. Send a thank you email the very same day and mention something specific from your chat so they remember who you are. Deliver on every single thing you promised. Keep a simple little tracking sheet for your proposals so nothing slips through the cracks. And hey, don't be shy about following up if you don't hear back. A little polite persistence can go a long way.
So, when you pull all of this together, the planning, the execution, the follow-up, what's the big takeaway here? What's the one idea to hold on to? Well, it's really about adopting a new, much more powerful mindset.
And it all comes down to this really powerful phrase: in these meetings, you either win or you learn. You never, ever lose. Every single interaction, whether you get the deal or not, gives you valuable experience. It gives you feedback that makes you better for the next journey. There is no such thing as failure.
So, as you look ahead to your next big opportunity, your next big meeting, remember that it's a journey that's about to begin. And the only question that really matters is this: are you prepared?